Well, I haven't been making videos because basically nothing's happening, which I guess is good. Been a little. I've really reached sort of a middle ground, and I kind of don't want to jinx it by talking about it. You know, I work a lot less than I was working before, because I was working like 5 or 6 days a week and 8 to 12 hours at a pop, and that was crazy. And what I've been working now is like 4 days a week, 6 to 7 hours. And it's kind of gotten to the point, well, okay, but then I also just did a stretch of 11 days in a row, and that really did get to me, and I was like, oh, I need a day off. But when I'm only working the 4 days, this is still torn up ground. I don't know what they're doing. They are not working on this construction. They dug everything up and they just left it. Anyway, it's weird because I'm like, okay, well, then what do I do the other days? Very strange. I have altered my diet. Now, I've discovered that really mentally, see, this might be one of the reasons why I'm sort of like mid-level. Mentally, the best for me is if I'm on a vegan ketosis diet. You know, a vegan diet where I'm in ketosis, which is really hard because the point of getting into ketosis is to not have very many carbs. So if you're eating only vegetables, that's really hard. I am not doing that now. I am in ketosis. I am not being vegan. I'm not even being vegetarian. But I am also very much whole foods, not eating chemicals. Well, for the most part. Far less. Definitely spending time actually cooking. See, this is like part and parcel. If I'm working massive hours, I don't have time to cook. So then I buy prepackaged crap or go to restaurants or whatever, and then I feel like crap. So in comparison, eating food that doesn't like screw up my brain, and also working a manageable amount, seems to be really very good. The other thing is, you know, you get older and, you know, this is one of the things that people question. You know, do you just get better at being, you know, avoidant, at having avoidant personality disorder? You know, is it more suited to older people? What's going on there? Because generally they have a lot more ease the older you are than the younger you are. And there could be a lot of things to do with that. I mean, when you're younger, you really are paying attention to social norms and what you're supposed to do. When you're younger, I think that people are aware because, you know, once you go through puberty and like, especially like late teens, early 20s, people reinvent themselves all the time. And I think people are kind of aware, just gut reaction, that they could still change. And they could at that point. They could still change your personality and maybe even not be, at the level where it's considered a personality disorder and just traits. That's possible. And I think people feel that pressure. I think when you get older, you sort of figured out what works for you and you stick with that. And, you're less likely to force yourself to experiment doing other things. I mean, that's different from what I do when I go on my trips. Is very much actively attempting to force myself to do something that quote unquote scares me, and do something new and different. Even though this next trip that I'm taking, which is in what's today? Like a week? I don't see what's going to be so different about it at all. I think that all of it's going to be stuff I've done, but it is really, this one was a knee-jerk, oh my God, I am working all the time again and I need an excuse to not work. I know, I'll just leave the state and then I will not, be as available because I won't have everything with me and I don't work in that case. Let's see if I can get you to see my guy. There he is. Anyway, so it was knee-jerk. I overpaid for it. I don't have anything really planned that I haven't really done before. And, whatever, that's okay. I actually had the chance. I found a reservation at the restaurant that was awarded James Beard Award for Best Restaurant in the United States in 2019. And last year they didn't give out the awards. So the best restaurant in the country. But then I saw how much it was going to cost and went, no, I'm a cheapskate. That would have been scary to waste that much money on one meal, one, and two, to be in a place that was truly designed for at least two people. And they were not. I mean, it wouldn't have been that expensive if it was just me, but I would have to pay double. And then it would get really pricey quick. So it was could have done that, but I'm not going to. Anyway, so this combination seems to be working with me. Did I go over everything that I think is the difference between being older? I mean, the thing is, some people just say that you grow into it, that your hormones change, and so you're not so driven by coupling. And that I don't believe at all. But again, I think that you just give yourself a break, and maybe your family is not giving you so much pressure to be normal and couple up. Sorry about using that phrase, but yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's biological. That you get better at coping with having avoidant personality disorder. Because I'm saying all this, and as far as my interactions with people has really solidified. I don't know where my cat is. Oh, he's way back there. He's coming. Or maybe that's another one. Anyway, I don't interact with people. I have coworkers who I think of me as a friend, and yet never interact personally at all. So maybe they don't think of me. They probably, why would they? That's give me a break. Let me rephrase that. They know who I am. It still freaks me out that my coworkers know my name. it freaks me out that people who know me for 10 years know my name. Because, you only have to say somebody's name if there's like 3 people there and you're trying to differentiate between 2. Well, that never happens. That never happens. At the most I would have a conversation with one person, so I would never have somebody call my name. So it's like, what? How? What? How do you know my name? I'm dead serious, and I can't explain that. Do you hear him? He wants me to wait. Maybe he's lost. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. That's my weirdness. But yeah, I do not interact with people. The only person I interact with is my son, who has been getting better and better and better. Still calls me up and is obnoxious and abusive, especially when he's stressed. And I've got at least 2 cats down there. I've gotten into the habit of just hanging up on him, which is terrible, but it's the truth when he gets that way. Better nothing. But again, that might be part of the reason why I'm so much better and more stable. As far as me talking about, is it an older thing or is it just that I figured my way in my life? I think I figured my way. And it's not great. And it is very lonely. And it's pretty boring. A lot of time. I read a ton of books. I could totally give lists and lists of recommendations. I mean, I read, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 novels a week. If I have a day off, I regularly read a couple novels in that day. Yeah. I have been very actively going through purge of the house. Active, but slow. Throwing out all the stuff that belonged to my mother and my father and my son. Throwing out all the stuff that I've had for years and years that I don't need. People seem to think, Google seems to think that I'm going to be moving soon. I keep getting long distance moving ads. They think I'm moving away. Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, that would be scary as hell. Because truly, less and less and less is tethering me to this. Except, 4 cats that like to go for walks. Oh, hi, cat. You're not my cat. There's a cat right there. That's not my cat. Do you want to come for a walk with us? Hello, cat. There's my cat. He's jealous because he sees this one. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go see where the ghosts are. I know how crazy that is. I do know. With the amount of animals, possums, skunks, porcupines, foxes, it's an animal of some sort, but, I say it's a ghost. Because I've never seen it. So that's like a definition. So, I don't know, super stable. I know it makes for a really boring channel. For quite a while there, I had drama every single day. And that's the other thing I think was actually really helpful. I had a string of therapists that were not good matches. Hearing nothing from the ghost. Are there people in this place? Sometimes they're out. I don't see them. Even the light is on. Okay. That I sort of had to stand my ground about when I can do things and how fast I can do things. And it is sort of like a nothing spurt, boom. The cork is popped and out I go with whatever I'm doing. I know that seems like that's how I operate. That might be how I'm operating. That I've always had to sort of wrap my head around something before I could actually pull it off. Christmas lights, still, which is technically illegal, by the way. In this state, you're supposed to have all Christmas lights down by the end of February. How's that for a weird law that they definitely do not force people to follow? It's supposed to be a distraction, cause car accidents and stuff. Speaking of which, what is up with these lights? Yeah. So very normal, very stable. Definitely people there, so I'm turning around. Very boring. So I don't know. I feel like making these videos is kind of a waste of everybody's time. Because there isn't anything for me to really explore, one, and two, I don't have the answers. I don't know why. I hear something. Oh, that's a car that's leaving. Maybe that's what I hear. I'm really not into the idea of my neighbors hearing me talk to the phone. Hey, cat. But they're not out there. And the ghost is quiet. Also, that's like super overgrown for now. Moves around to see him. Can't see it, even if I put on the light, whatever. But it is very overgrown. Something. I haven't seen any bats this year yet, either. Early yet. Just lots of peeper frogs. What are you looking at, cat? Anyway, yeah. So I can't really explain how I got to this point. I can kind of explain. One, the major stressful relationships in my life either are completely gone or are radically diminished. Two, I have hugely pared down the number of people in my life. I mean, somebody was saying today about my mother, they're like, it was a thing with my health. That they're like, you're healthy, you're fine. I'm like, yeah, well, my mother at this age had already had a radical mastectomy, and had already had half her teeth out, and was already having signs of congestive heart failure. So we have very different lives. I never smoked. She smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Not that I'm condemning that. Different time, She had very, very different lifestyle than I got. But I spent a ton of time, like it was a full-time job, taking care of all the family. That stopped. I went and ditched the 9-to-5 job the way you're supposed to. I almost got one last year. I was applying for 9-to-5 jobs, and I'm very glad that I didn't actually get one. Like, very glad that I didn't actually get one. I mean, I would have had a lot more money, but I would have had a huge amount of stress. And I do, follow a schedule, but It is super adaptable. And because I work with a team, I am not the one. If for whatever reason I couldn't be there, okay, somebody else would pitch in and get the work done. The lack of stress there is huge. But again, I can do that and make like a pittance compared to other people, especially with my education and my age and stuff. But even like my coworkers who are working and making more money than me are like totally cash strapped, and I'm not, because of the choices that I made in order to take care of my kid. That like, I don't have any credit cards. I don't have a car payment. I've told this over and over and over again. That gave me more choices so that I could pick a job that suited me. And I knew somebody else with avoidant personality disorder who has a job that, while stressful because they have to interact with people from time to time, the work itself is perfectly suited, you know? So even though it's like a much more sort of normal job, makes tons more money, but it's the same thing, the exact same thing, because this person negotiated different hours than everybody else. That alone is brilliant because they can come to work and avoid the rush of everybody coming in at the same time and being, social with each other and basically missing that social hour. It's perfect. That's the type of thing that really helps when you're trying to get a job, is take a job and tweak it slightly to fit what's going to work for you. And again, like, I don't have the family. Well, first of all, I don't have family pressure from other people, but I also don't have pressure from myself. TMI. I have gone through menopause already. Doctors are freaked out because it happened so early for me, but whatever. So I don't have any of the, because I remember the instinct bordering on compulsion to have another baby and being sad all the time that I didn't have another baby. That's ended. Okay. I am actually still a little kind of wish I coulda, but I didn't, and whatever. It's not as strong by any means. It's like maybe 10%. So that's good. The desire to couple. I really have spent years and years and years and years thinking about it, and the reality is, the point of avoidant personality disorder is to make you feel safe. And I don't feel safe with other people, and I don't trust them, and I cannot depend on anybody else. I just cannot. It's impossible. Like, even at work, if somebody tries to help me out, I'm like, just don't do it at all. Let me take care of everything, start to finish. If this is my work, I do it all. I don't care that you're standing there, doing absolutely nothing, twiddling your thumbs, waiting for something to come in. I've got to do it all. If you do it for me, I'm going to go back and double check and make sure that you did it right. I am never going to trust anybody in any situation. And so, I used to describe it as, ironically, now I've seen it, that you have to walk through lava to get to the other side, burn your damn legs off to get to the other side. I said, I would like to be married. If I didn't have to have a wedding to get married, if I didn't have to go through all that, if I didn't have to date, if I didn't have to do anything, it'd be kind of cool if I got clunked on the head and was in a coma for a year and woke up and I found myself married. That'd be good. But the process of getting there is not anything that I am interested in. And I told, first conversation I had with people, they're like, and they're thinking that I was dissing myself. I would be a terrible wife. Absolutely, unquestionably, because I don't trust anybody, because I don't depend on anybody, because I would never, like this merge your life thing, impossible. Can't do it, can't give up control. It's just fact. I just know this about myself. And so when I get like I should be in a couple thing, I just sit and think, how would it feel really to be in that type of situation where I was solely out of control and dependent on somebody else, and even a tiny bit dependent on somebody else, and you can't control anybody else. And they might say, this is what I'm going to do. That doesn't mean they're going to do it. And they might do it 1,000 times in a row. That doesn't mean they're going to do it the next time. And I just can't live with that, sort of disease and question and having it hanging over my head. This is really one of the reasons why things are so much better for me now, because I don't have the worry with my son living in the house of how is he going to react. Here comes a car. Uh-oh, where are you going, Pop? I can't see because the idiot has his high beams on. Okay, cat, come out of the woods. Don't make me go chase you. Anyway, I'm aware of all that, and so that's a really good gut check. I'm sort of like in that mood that I'm like, okay, this is what you have to do. And it is not beyond my observational analysis abilities to realize that I keep going on these trips like every couple months, and one of the guidelines, 2 cats, I think that is Percy and Poppy. Anyway, is that, it's like I have this rules of what I do on these trips. It's things like I prefer to get a hotel room with a bathtub as opposed to just a shower, because you have more space. And like, I've been in showers where people it's too close to the walls and who knows when they wash the walls and blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's my freaky thing. Yes, Percy and Poppy. Let's see if I can see them. Percy and Poppy. And one of the things is these goals of when I do these trips, try to do something completely different. Try to do something that scares me specifically. Well, maybe what I'm trying to do is prep myself to have some kind of relationship. Maybe. Possible. That's what the therapist would have said. But I doubt it. Who knows? 30 years from now. But I've got so many, sort of gates and walls to that being a possibility that I would say no. So that I'm aware of this, that I'm completely self-aware of it, and I've gone through the morning and gone through feeling sad for myself and realized this is the way my life is, and it's far less stressful than if I had that stress, and so isn't that a good thing? I think that helped. Anyway, have I yapped enough for tonight? Y'all know I'm not dead, and the cats aren't dead either. Okay, I'll stop it. Bye.